evening, good morning, whatever you want to be called, wherever time zone. We're back, boys. Another Thursday of podcast, another Thursday of talking about football and seeing each other and seeing what we've come up for with this week in terms of discussions and stuff that has happened around the world of football. So let's introduce ourselves, man. I feel like haven't feels like a while. I feel like we haven't played too much in between, so this is refreshing to see you guys. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mm, yeah. All right, man. How you doing, man? How you doing, Irving? How you doing, man? You're in the middle.
Me, I'm doing good. Um, I'm about to, or at least we're heading to the fall recess as they call it. So it's nice to get a little break. I also got some pretty good news this week, so that's good too. So I'm doing good.
Mind sharing the good news?
It's just has
It,
to do with like the my job at East Bay. My manager told me that they're willing to keep me on for an internship, and I'd have office hours. I'd be going to all the games, helping out. So I get to stay longer and actually be more involved than what I am doing now. So it's pretty good.
that's good,
That's
man.
dope.
Well, yeah, congrats.
Yeah,
I feel
congrats,
like
man.
it's
Yeah.
hey, man. Just when you make it, get to better pastures, just remember this podcast.
Where it all
Yeah.
began.
Yeah,
Yep.
remember
Of
remember
course.
the root
Of
that you
course.
Well,
planted.
hopefully, I'd like to think that we may be along for the ride. I hope, but but
Yeah.
who knows?
Of course. Yeah, and also one of my old middle school teachers is getting me in contact with someone that works at one of the directors at Michigan State for their sports division.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's exciting.
We'll see where that goes too.
Nice.
That's tight, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
Oh man. What about you, Ariel, man? How you doing? How's this fall recess for you leading up to?
It's good, man. Today was my last day. Uh, now I have a little bit of a break. Kind of a heavier day. Rainy days are always a little harder. But I did get to see some Concacaf. Got to see the Azulita,
Oof.
La H. Got to see them
Yeah.
play, and yeah, overall, I was able to. I don't know. There's just something about the international football that I like. I don't know. I don't know if it's just not to say that Arsenal and Real Madrid and I mean I don't watch Milan anymore, even though they're my favorite team. But I don't know. It just speaks to me differently now. And maybe that I'm older, so it's pretty good overall though. And I haven't actually been able to play PlayStation. So yeah.
Mhm. Well,
How are you?
hopefully after today, man, or today we can get back together, get back
Yeah.
on the horse. I feel good, man. I feel like I feel good. I mean, I agree with you with the weather. It gets gloomy a bit, but it's all. I also appreciate it from time to time. Just kind of lets you know that at least towards the end of the year, gloomy weather. It just lets you know you're towards the end of the year, heading into the holidays. So, just kind of feels good, that you're here, that we're doing, or that I'm here, and that I'm doing okay. So, and yeah, I feel like maybe at some point we might have talked about it here and how was international break too much or not. But I feel like sometimes you appreciate seeing a selección play over a club team. So,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and I feel like maybe my conversation would have been completely different if Mexico doesn't win the second game. But no, it was good. It was refreshing, and I think we got to see a little bit of every team, honestly. So
Yeah, as
without
dysfunctional as the Concacaf is, it does bring some sort of
Some excitement.
some excitement.
Yeah.
well, and
Of
I think the
course.
beauty of it now is like, especially for us, because we're in this time zone and we're in this area, we get the prime time matches.
Yeah,
Like they're happening as we're getting home, or like when we're home, relaxed on the couch. So it's like, what do you turn on the TV? What's on? Concacaf, dude.
that's right.
But all right, man. That's our introductions for this week. I'm gonna lead it off to Irving. Give us our tarjeta roja of the week. Unanimous, I'd say, and I think it's something that we're definitely gonna talk about throughout the show. So take it over.
Yeah, cool little transition from. Yeah, man.
Hey man, I went a little crazy on the soundboard last time, so I don't know. I may have to bring it back a little bit.
Nah, man. Do what you gotta do, man. Yeah. I think our tarjeta roja, for those who have not seen this show before, basically we're giving one tarjeta roja to a certain player, team, occasion, situation. Uh, yeah, and basically we're giving them tarjeta roja. Our tarjeta roja of the week is going to the Mexico Honduras match one, to be more specific. Many different reasons, I think. I think it was a very hostile environment that Mexico came into, but it was all riled up for Mexico. My guy Chino Huerta talking before the match. My guy Javier Aguirre flipping the fans off. It all led to a can being thrown at Javier Aguirre. My guy's all bloodied up. But I think the thing I liked most is my guy's just smiling at, he's just chilling. He doesn't even worry about it. He's not, so it was just a crazy, crazy environment that was played uh, in San Pedro Sula. So, what did you guys think? You guys, I mean, one is tarjeta roja, but two, do you think? I mean, is this a good tarjeta roja? I mean, what do you think of this? You know, this match,
What do you mean by that?
or just this specifically? We'll talk about the match in the next headline. Just this specific.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, I don't know. I guess my tarjeta roja, the way I'm reading this is like, I feel like I gotta be specific. I think I gotta give it to the Honduras fans. The tarjeta roja, la H. I think a part of me feels bad for the players that played and did the job that was needed. Um, and unfortunately, because of the fans and the way that they reacted, I think it just fueled the Mexico team in the next game, which is what I told y'all when I think I talked to you last time. I was like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
I think Vasco's doing an amazing job right now." Had just holding it in because then he could just go to practice and be like, "Y'all saw what they did to me? Go fuck their asses up." Uh, and that's kind of what they did, you know. And so I gotta give it to. I gotta be specific. Gotta give it to the Lache, and then I can go into a bigger scope. But if I had to give my tarjeta roja, I'd have to give it to the Honduras fans. Um, it's not a good look, man. Not a good look. Um, and it really just overshadows the work that the players did, I think.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that's where the biggest fault is that when you do that, you take away credibility from the work that your players did. And I think Palma really coming in as a super sub, I think a player that plays in a big league comes in, does the job, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a beer can or a can hitting a coach and him leaving that. I mean, it's probably going to go down in history, really. You know,
Yeah.
I think we witnessed a historical moment in for good or bad. You know, of
Mm-hmm.
potentially. I mean, this could be the beginning of Mexico turning around the ship, right? So it could be historical from that viewpoint. It could be also be historical of just like this is what happens in Honduras or in the Concacaf or in Central America, whatever they go.
Mm-hmm. Any comments, Luis?
It's like, did we just see the beginning of the butterfly effect for Mexico? Could be. Hey, man. But no, I feel like I
Yeah.
think I agree with you in that sense that I feel like the aftermath, the events that happened after the match, just overshadowed a really good win for the country. Not just for the players, but I feel like for the country. I think the country needed that. I don't believe that. I mean, I feel like they expected Honduras to go out there and play hard like they always do against Mexico at home. But ultimately, the events just kind of take away from that win. Like I don't think they, or maybe it might have been as enjoyable for them, but from an outside perspective or from a fan that sees it through the outside, it doesn't seem like it was. And that's the unfortunate part because apart from getting eliminated, that's a different story. But like that was your moment of pride, and I think you went too overboard with that moment. And you know what? And I get the Javier Aguirre, I get the Chino Huerta. I mean, first of all, Chino Huerta should not be speaking and instigating the fans. I mean, I could take it from, but that's the thing. Like, it shows on the Mexican side. Like, it's like, of course, it had to be Chino Huerta that was instigating. Like, you're not seeing this from like the captain Edson, or you're not seeing from this like from Raulito, dude. Like you had the wrong guy instigating, and of course they were gonna like retaliate because the guy that was instigating wasn't even good, and was a he was a no show at the game, which obviously like fueled the fans even more to like go against them because the guy sucked and they were able to win the game. So in part, I would give it to just to the Mexico. It could have been evaded to an extent, and yeah, man, I feel like it's cliche, but it's like, man, talk on the field, talk with goals, talk with wins. But
They just didn't recognize that name, man. That's the
I
thing.
mean, hey, man, if you're telling me a Huerta guy told that it's better to lose against Venezuela than to lose against Honduras, like, I'd be like, who the hell is this guy?
I don't even know if that's PG.
Clearly, you didn't watch the game. All right. Clearly, you didn't watch the second game.
Hey, Dad!
That's right.
That's why he got.
That's
no,
right.
That's why he got benched.
Nah, hey, he came in, cayeron dos goles rápido.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, you know what? We're gonna move on.
Come on, man.
All right, we'll move on to our headline because it'll encapsulate what we're now discussing. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we talked about it. The Concacaf. I mean, it's the beauty of the Concacaf, the beauty of watching teams play, and so yeah, our headline this week is going to involve the Nations League recap. La Mexico, la H, la Azulita, the U.S., Canada. Man, so many. The big dogs played, and so did Mexico and the U.S.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, what are you guys' takeaways from this? The last international break before the year ends.
Yeah, I want to give the spotlight to El Salvador a little bit. My guy Ariel, let us know what you thought about that, man. A great win for El Salvador. They didn't play well, in my opinion, but still pulled out the win.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough, dude. It's rough, and you know what? It's I think El Salvador, we're just not in a good place. I mean, they topped the group for whatever that's worth. They're gonna go to the Gold Cup. They won 5 out of the 6 games, but they're supposed to do that. They're considered one of the better teams in Concacaf, and no, it was interesting because the last 2 games that I was able to catch this window, the fans just like they were just chewing out the team, dude. Like there came a point where they were like cheering when players were subbed off, like they were whistling at them, like they were doing ole for the other team, like even though they were winning, like the fans have just turned on the Salvadorian team, and it's just it's a really bad place. Actually, the guy that the president, not the president, Diogo Gama, which is the guy that they brought in, like he like apparently worked for Real Madrid or some shit like that, like a Portuguese guy, and he's supposed to like, do these things for the selección, and he left. Like he no one knew where the fuck he was. Like like it's just ridiculous stuff in El Salvador, and yeah, man, it's just not a good place, and I'm afraid that they're gonna get destroyed. I mean, when they play real teams, um, because they won, but they struggled. And there's always some positives in the struggle, and they still won. I think that that's still a good positive out of this window for them, but
Yeah.
I think in the way that they're doing it, I think is really tough. It's a tough watch. It's a tough watch. I tell you that. It's not for the easy. It's not for the weak
Yeah.
to withstand a game like that, where it's just no team really has any ideas going forward.
Yeah, I mean the one thing I'd like to talk or highlight is the kid Nathan Ordaz. I think he's actually like really good. He's probably the only bright spot to me for El Salvador right now. And fun fact, he was actually eligible to play for Mexico as well. So he chose a bigger team.
Yeah, he chose the big team. He chose the La Selección, and
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, he's still really young, and I think that's the thing is like
younger than me.
Are we? Yeah, that is who's leading the charge.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we're at, and they also brought in this Brazilian Salvadorian.
Ooh.
So the Salvadorians are going crazy because they're like, Ramon Brasileño, man. My boy speaking Portuguese, you know what I'm saying, in the press conferences. I mean, he's like also like 17, 18, So the team is getting younger, but that I think just like the poor state of the National League, I think this is like really showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it just feels like it's not going to be an immediate effect to get two young kids to turn the ship around for them.
No, and they can't
but-
convince Roldan to come back.
Yeah.
They can't convince him. They apparently lost like the Heel brothers are apparently not going to come back. Supposedly there was a new report that I saw that there potentially could be, but the coach called them out like publicly. Just getting into a little bit of the rumors in El Salvador. If you really want to get into that, you really want to know the ins and outs of the Salvadorian football scene. The coach publicly called them out, and then the dad responded, and it just got kind of ugly after that. So,
Yeah, man.
needless to say, the Hill brothers will probably not be in the Azulita until a
that
new
sucks.
coach, probably.
That sucks.
Yeah.
My boy Tamacas is still out there, though, no?
He's still out there. He only lasted one half.
Hey,
That's per
he's
usual.
still out there.
Yeah,
Nothing.
dude. Look, this is how bad it is, dude. Seren, who has played as a center defensive mid for
El
the
Capi?
majority of his career, captain, by the way,
Yeah.
he ended the last game as our cam.
That's great. That's great. That's what you want to hear. Putting some veteran leadership in the cam position right there.
Oh, and the coach is loving it. He's coming out because the fans were just booing the shit out of them. Like him and Nelson Bonilla, they were just every time they touched the ball, they would whistle. And the coach came out and was like, "No, that's my guy. Those are my guys."
Man. They were all good with Hugo Perez, man. Everything was good.
I mean, I said that, but hey, no one listens to me.
It's like maybe you should go out there, man. Give them an earful. Let them know how you feel.
Imagine.
Oh, man.
I mean, with two. Okay, I guess when you're our reportero, with the La Azulita, all La Azulita news comes from you.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is now like a throwaway cycle for them, and look ahead like beyond 2026?
I think this is probably the lowest that El Salvador. I mean, it's been low. I'll say that it's been low, but I think this is the lowest that I think it's ever been. Like the league is at an all-time low. Like the talent coming out of there, like you're having to go and get talent from somewhere else. Like that's where we're at. So it's just yeah, you have to look past 2026. That was the whole plan of Hugo Perez, right? But they stopped the process. So the way things are looking now, it's like, yeah, you're gonna probably have to plan until 2030 because Nathan Ordaz is, he's young.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably be hitting his prime by the time 2030 comes. But who knows? Who knows he'll even want to be in the selection at that point.
Yeah, for real. Go back to Mexico.
Eh,
All right.
well,
Well-
we'll go to Mexico. Well, actually, no. Let's highlight the U.S. in between. U.S. Jamaica. Jamaica actually had a decent squad, but not
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Any highlights?
Hey,
or is-
Gray's kind of cool with the finishing though. He's
Mhm.
kind of cool with it, like really calm and composed. Too bad the rest of the team couldn't
Sucks.
handle the defense, but hey, Gray was doing his thing out there, and I was surprised to see Leon Bailey out there. Really, after the last thing that I saw of the Jamaica team, it's really unfortunate because I think Jamaica has a really cool team. I think they got some cool pieces to their team, and
Did
it's
you
just
say
that
Mason Holgate?
it's just that back line, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
That back line kills me, dude. They're so they're too como que se like they're just too anxious. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not built for the pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, the USA didn't look pretty good in Jamaica when they went to go play in Jamaica. I actually thought
No,
they were lucky to get a goal in the first 5 minutes. But they come over to the USA, and lo and behold, they score four goals, and then after Damari Gray, puts in two. Yeah, but overall for Pochettino, I think this was a must win. You should have passed to Pochettino. Should be a you got to win the whole thing. If I'm Pochettino, or that's what I'm thinking. If I'm the front office, like you got to win the whole thing. You clearly on paper have the better talent, the better squad. Mexico is not in the situation where they should be winning, just because of the poor run they've had these past couple matches. Obviously, they just won 4-0 against Honduras, but that's expected, for Mexico, just as it is expected for USA to beat a Jamaica team that, yes, has some talent in there sprinkled in, but it's just not, on paper, it's just not as good as USA. So, yeah, they didn't look good in the first time around. Second half or second match looked like they got their stuff together. Yeah, to me, it's you better make it to the final and win. If I'm Pochettino.
win. I think that's where I would disagree a little bit, but I do foresee them. They should be in the final. But
Yeah, really, you don't think that they should win the whole thing?
no,
Damn.
no, because you know what? Like, for what? This means nothing.
No, but
The Nations League doesn't mean anything. Sure, I don't know. You have to think about this is his third game as the coach, or is it this second? What is it? This is his third game, right?
I think it's like his third game.
Yeah, his third game. The expectations for him to already win a champion, like a championship. Nah, I would say that's the Gold Cup for me. Like that would be a must win in my opinion. I don't know about the Nations League. If anything, I think it would be. I would feel like it should be Canada because they're the ones with the most consistency up until this point between Mexico, U.S., and Canada. To me, like I expect more from Canada, me personally. But I've been a Canada guy since the last World Cup, and look where that's taken me. But because I think on their good day, I think that they're one of the better teams in this region. So. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't see the way that I'm reading the news and the way that I'm seeing this team flow. Like I think Pochettino's just filling out his team, who his team's going to be.
True.
But I don't know.
True.
I don't know how you guys take that last game.
To me, at the end of the day, you're still calling up your starters. These are the people that are. In the second game, he played Pepe, he played Weah, Pulisic, Yunus Musa, Weston McKennie, McKenzie, Timber. He played all the starters. And if it's gonna be the same way the next time they play Panama, to me, it's again you gotta win. There's no way you're gonna lose against Panama. You gotta win. And that's what I'm saying. Like once they get to the final, whoever they play, whether that be Canada or Mexico, I think you kind of have to beat either one. I know again, Mexico and Canada. at the end of the day, there's still the other two big dogs in the Concacaf. But I mean, we've been saying this for a while. USA on paper have the better talent than these three teams that are maybe gonna be left. I don't want to count out Panama, but
Hey, Panama. Hey, yeah, for sure.
yeah. So,
I mean, yeah, I can see. I mean, I feel like this Nations Leagues that we get to see has always been built because obviously the Final Four gets played in the U.S. and it's always kind of been built so that U.S. and Mexico don't cross path unless they make it to the final.
mhm.
So to an extent, maybe if I'm seeing it from the financial perspective, yeah, I feel like USA kind of needs to be there. Because if they're not, then it doesn't. Then now we're talking that the Nations League has no meaning to an extent.
But it
But
doesn't.
it would.
But it doesn't. Yeah, it
No.
doesn't.
But that's the thing. Like it doesn't. But if somehow you have Mexico and the U.S., now it has some kind of meaning because now you want to see how the U.S. best team does against Mexico's best team in that given or whenever they face each other.
Mhm.
But and I guess I think to the point or I feel like to me when transitioning into the Mexico game, that I felt was one of those where like yeah, I think Mexico did that was a must win for them. It was good that Honduras had won the first game, but like they didn't have too much talent. Like it was that first win was gutsy, but there was not like that was like one of those where like Mexico had coming off beating the U.S. in Mexico and having those Aguirre kind of like feel like turning the ship around. That first game was rough to watch, and the second game kind of felt more like what we were expecting from the selección. And I do applaud in a sense the changes that Javier Aguirre did and giving some players kind of like the Cruz Azul player give him the chance to start off the game and show that he's not afraid to put somebody out there if he thinks he's gonna do good. So the high to me it was like for Mexico it was a must win, and I'm glad that they did because if they didn't we would definitely be pointing fingers, but ultimately I think Javier Aguirre did take this opportunity to look at players, and that's what I take away from that leg against Honduras.
You got any players that stuck out to you?
The Rodrigo Huescas guy that I had been petitioning for him since the Copa America. Come on, bro.
Nah, come
Uh-oh.
on, man, come on.
I've been.
You're a
fan of
Jorge
Jorge.
Sanchez diehard, bro. Come on.
Hey, he scored. No. But Rodrigo Huescas was a kid that you wanted to see play. Like he had been called up, but you never really seen the chance to see somebody on the right that wasn't Jorge Sanchez. So it was cool to see him. Same with the Cruz Azul player, the Gutierrez guy, also a young kid, and he had been I'm not a Cruz Azul fan, but I can admit when he's been balling out, and that guy had been balling out all season, and playing for Mexico, it just showed. And I think one thing that I feel like it didn't get too much attention as it was happening, and I think after I kind of was like, yeah, it makes sense. I think Javier Aguirre put players from the same team in the starting 11, and I think that did change the dynamic on how the team was playing because they knew each other, they see each other in practice, and I think it added to the chemistry because he essentially had Toluca players and Cruz Azul players.
You only had one.
On-
Oh yeah. I
Like
forgot.
I'd still argue that Charlie Rodriguez should have been
Oh
there,
my god!
but-
I can't believe he still makes the
Hey.
team. It's crazy.
Hey, just wait till you hear me talk about that game.
No, hold up though. But and the thing again, we go back to that's the only player that I'd be like, all right, but
Nah, get my guy Romo out of there. Too,
Oh,
man.
he
What
was
is that
sucking complete
No.
ass. Nah,
guy
he
doing?
he does not look
Nah,
good.
come
Look,
on.
I mean, I thought he looked
Yeah.
pretty good with Jimmy. I think Jimmy gave him a lot.
Without Alvarez too. Without Alvarez.
Jimmy, I think, gave him a lot of confidence, but him in these two games, I thought he looked horrible.
Yep.
it's like my I mean I guess my final comments, and I'll hand it over to you guys. Like my final, it's like in a game where your team scored 4 goals, somehow Charlie Rodriguez didn't appear. It's like you still couldn't give an assist, you still couldn't score, and based on the starting three, which was I was kind of questioning it with Romo, Edson, and Charlie, all defensive in a way with no attacking mindset. Like he was the cam, and somehow it was the defender that put the assist for the first goal. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, rough. But yeah,
Yeah.
take it away. I got my 2 cents in.
Well, to me, I mean, the first game, props to Honduras. I mean, they played a great game against Mexico. I feel like the environment also helped out Honduras a lot. I feel like a lot of the Mexican players were like kind of feeling like the pressure of like we got to get a result out of here. But yeah, Paz was that's his name, right? Palma, sorry, Palma. Uh, yeah, I mean he came in 2 great goals. I'm sorry, I know Ariel you were defending Ochoa that on Friday we were talking about the game. Nah, man, my guy Ochoa was selling in that last goal at least. I'm glad they got him out of there. You know, I'm not a big Malagon guy, just cause, but he did play great in the second. And I like that he stood up for himself. También, you know, pushing people around. It's kind of commotion going on at the end of the game. That's what you want to see. You know, someone defending their colors and their ground, and especially out of your goalie. So yeah, but Honduras played a great game. Literally Mexico looked horrible. Nothing going forward. They had some chances, but yeah, Luis Palma came in and hey, in the second leg, Luis Palma started, did nothing the whole game. I also think there's big talks I've seen on Twitter and TikTok about the coach. I mean, I think the coach definitely went into it with the wrong mindset. My guy, since minute one, was throwing all his 11 players back. There's like 2 people making runs to like balonazos for Honduras. I definitely think that's not the way they should have approached it. I know they were defending a 2-0 score, but I mean, hey, 2-0 es el marcador más mentiroso. So, you know? And to me, hey, y'all talking about Charlie? I actually did not think he played that bad. He looked
Hey, Daddy!
he looked okay in the midfield. He did not look bad. I think Romo played worse than Charlie Rodriguez in my opinion. Does that mean I want to see Charlie Rodriguez? No, but he didn't stink it up either. I think the whole team together played well. Alexis Vega was someone that I was shocked to see start, and he had a great game. Raul Jimenez did his thing. He scored. Gallardo, I question his start. He played good. Chiquete Orozco, the guy replacing Johan for this game, looked great as a defender. So, yeah, I mean, the whole team played great. It was a good game for Mexico. Where does this going to go for Mexico moving forward? I don't know. We'll see. This, like we all said, this should have been a must-win regardless. So, yeah, man. And Honduras, hey, I think they had the wrong mindset, in my opinion. I know people are like, oh, they just didn't have the talent to defend against this Mexico team. Like, it's just, it's Honduras. But I think if they would have went into it the same way they did the first game, I think maybe we're talking about Mexico being eliminated here. So, yeah.
I'm gonna come.
That's you right now?
Charlie.
The Charlie Glaze is crazy.
Charlie Glaze is crazy, dude.
He did not look bad, man. He actually did not look bad.
Yeah.
He didn't look at
dude.
all.
He looked like this guy.
Hey guys, Kato's here.
A little guy in a big field.
Yeah.
To me, I'll keep it a little short. I think Honduras. I think I agree with. I agree with you, Irving. I think they really messed up with the outlook in the whole game. I think like le dieron mucho respeto a Mexico. Like it's too much respect. You got to kind of kick them while they're down. And again, kind of to the point that I made earlier, I think that can really, it really fucked them up. If that wouldn't have
You
happened.
called them, man.
You could have gone into this game a little bit more confident, but you knew that the Mexico team was going to come out fired up because of what happened to the coach, and I think that really played. I think the coach kind of misread the game, because even in the way that he played Palma, like Palma came in the first game, second half as a sub. Why not do it again? You know what I'm saying? Like when the team was tired, when
Mhm.
things are already kind of on the low, and you kind of have this player that can do that, and he just didn't do that, you know. And my boy, I don't know if y'all caught the guy that replaced him, Obregon. I don't. Did y'all see that? 10 minutes into his time, he was already asking for oxygen. Nah,
Yeah, they were playing in La Ciudad de Mexico too, where the elevation is insanely high too. But yeah, yeah.
nah. But come on, dude. I mean, the commentators were like, "Well, he's about to get a sub right now after this." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's who you. Like, so you know, like I think just like the whole outlook of the game, I think was just misread by the coach. I think they should have tried to go get another goal. That would have forced Mexico to
Mhm.
have to score
Score
4. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like
which they did, but you
they
know,
did, but they still wouldn't have passed if they would have scored 1.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So if they would have just kind of come out and let them know we're not going to back down, we're going to try to get this goal. Even if you open yourself up a little bit, you know, you still kind of go for that goal, and they just didn't do that, you know, and I think that really hurt them in the end. So it's unfortunate, but good for Mexico though, you know. And the one person that I really want to applaud is my boy Raúl. You know, I think he's having a resurgence, and I think it's awesome to see because I think he's a great player, and I think he adds a dynamic to this team that I think is fun. You know, when he tried for that bicycle kick, I think like shortly after the first
That was
goal, like
crazy.
he could
Yeah,
have
that
gone
was
for a
crazy.
header. I think it was a little behind him, so I'll give him that. But you know, Mexico just hasn't had that in a while. You know, Henry's not going to try that. Santi's not going to try that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me-
Memote? Memote
Memonte's
is.
on the bench, dog. He's watching the other ones not do it. So, you know,
Yeah.
Raúl adds that little bit of unpredictability that I think adds a little bit of flavor to Mexico, which I
Mhm.
like, which I think they've been missing. You know, like he'll do his little backheel pass or whatever. Like he'll do these little things that are just um they may not be so obvious, like or like you know maybe they're just really small, but they're little things of confidence. You know, like he has that confidence to do it, and I think that that's important to have in a team. So I applaud that because I think it's a cool moment that he's going through.
I
I mean,
agree.
and I feel like it's. I mean, as you speak on mi Raulito y mi Henry, just seeing because it's like, hey man, Henry can metió Henry dos goles, dude. It's like he had, but it's like no, like I don't know, I don't like. I'm looking at it from the outset and like I don't know if has a chance to start here.
Come
No, he
on.
doesn't. No,
Come
he does
on.
not. He
Come
does not.
on.
I mean,
Come
this should be our
on.
debate right
Like,
here. He
Come
doesn't.
on.
yeah, like I'm
Nah,
looking at him
man.
and I'm like, I don't. I mean, you're gonna come back from the injury, but I don't know if you're my forward.
He's not.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah, like, and this is
Let's cut the
something.
nonsense out. Come on.
No, this is something that we were arguing for after the Copa America and saying that Santi was supposed to be the guy and whatnot. Like, bro, imagine if we would had this Raul at the Copa America
He would have
this
put that
year.
goal away against
Yeah,
Venezuela. I think it was.
yeah. Like, imagine if we had this guy or like,
He would have taken that
im-
penalty that
or im-
Oberlin missed.
exactly. There you go. It's like imagine we have this guy. I mean, we wouldn't have need to like rely on him and Mote Martinez to be your starting forward because Santi's not good. Like I feel like this now you have two good forwards that can play the 9. And the team needed that and they didn't have that when Santi was there and they didn't even have that when we thought that this Memote guy was going to be the answer to
I mean, Santi's definitely. I would put him second. I wouldn't put him third, but I can see why Henry can be put into that mix.
Nah, come on. Nah, come on.
I mean, come
Come
on,
on.
man. Hey, man.
Okay.
Go to bed.
Hey,
Yeah,
dude.
man. Come on.
What are you talking about? How can you
Nah, man,
argue
come on.
that Memote is ahead of Henry, Henry,
No.
hasn't
Okay,
played
look.
in a minute, and he comes in. He scores 2 goals in a high pressure game.
Look, okay, sure, Memote, yeah, I mean, it's all fun and games, but come on, we're not putting Henry Martin and Santi in the same
We
conversation.
are. They're the
Come
three.
on.
They're the 3 forwards.
Nah, come on, man. Yeah, he's a third forward, and he's gonna chill as a third forward. There's no way Santi's behind Henry Martin.
I
Or at
would
the same
argue that
level.
Vasco probably puts him as
Nah,
third.
nah.
I'm sorry,
Nah,
dude.
that's insane.
Sorry, dude.
Come on,
I
that's
think he's the
insane.
third one, dude.
That's
I think he's
insane.
the third one.
That's insane.
He's not second. I don't think he's second. What makes you think he's
Nah,
second?
I mean, we're talking about Henry Martin, a guy. I mean, come on, this guy plays for America. Man's hasn't scored. Man's scored these 2 goals. Let's be real, Luis. As an America fan, this season Henry Martin was not great. He was not great at all. He wasn't even the best Mexican striker in the league, in my opinion. Santi Jimenez plays for Feyenoord. He's playing Champions League game, Europa League games, has scored in all these games. Sure, with the Mexico shirt on, he has not performed for what fans expect him to be. But come on, we're not putting him with Henry Martin. We're not saying this guy's behind Henry Martin. This guy's on. Sure, Raul Jimenez. If we're looking at form-wise, yes, he's probably the number 1, especially when Santi comes back from his injury, which he's still dealing with. But come on, we're not putting Santi Jimenez in the same conversation as Henry Martin, man. Come on, let's be real.
But we are, because that's the pool that Mexico has.
Yeah, but there's no way they're competing for the second spot. Henry Martin's automatic 3. There's no way he gets. There's no way he becomes a second
Look,
striker.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Santi has had his chances, and he's kind of fluffed his chances. Henry
man.
had this
Come on,
one
man.
chance, and he
Come
made it
on.
happen.
Come on.
And mind you that the players that played with Henry are the same players that played with Santi. It's not like we've seen a change in players, dog. Like Santi has played.
Henry
with
also had his
Vega.
chance at the World Cup. What did
And
he
he
do?
scored a goal. And he scored a goal.
Nah, come on.
He scored a goal against Saudi Arabia. Like, what you mean? I mean, you gonna tell me that game against Argentina? No, that didn't count. They sold themselves.
Let's see, come on.
But
That's where
that's
you need him to
that's a
step up.
different time, Irving. That's a different coach. That's a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
time. I mean, I think we're talking about the present day.
Look, I just think that if I'm Aguirre, thinking in my, putting my coach hat on, you got to find a way to get these 2 to play, Raul Jimenez and Santi Jimenez. You got to find both of them a way to get them involved, play with 2 9s, find a way. He's going to find a way, though. But there's no way Henry Martin is, like, above Santi Jimenez. Anyway, come on. We both know talent-wise, Santi Jimenez is the clear-cut better striker
That's
than Henry
no
Martin.
one is saying. No one is debating that, Irving.
But I don't see why Henry Martin would start over Santi Jimenez.
I don't see why Santi would start over him.
Nah, man, come on. We know Santi Jimenez for the past 2 years has been arguably the best Mexican player
But
they've had.
but what does he do? What does
Without
he
having
do
the Mexican shirt on.
when he puts on that jersey?
Hey, that's
He
a different
turns
coach.
into
Like we
Memote.
said, it's we got a new coach now. We got Javier Aguirre. We got Rafa Marquez. I feel like there's gonna be a way in which they unlock that kind of key. They unlock that potential.
I think this is the best case scenario
For the
for
Mexican
Santi. He is too young for the pressure. He's shown that he's not built for that pressure. And what better way to learn than to be behind Raul Jimenez and Henry Martin in the depth chart, learn, pick it up, and when your time comes, you have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure Henry would be like, yeah, go ahead, dude, when you're ready. But I'm sure now Henry's like, yeah, this is my position. This is my spot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that's what I would assume that's what's happening. I mean, that's what I think, but I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. You know?
Well, we'll see when the time comes, man. We'll see.
Jimenez, Henry, and Jimenez all eat in the same table. Santi just eats the crumbs. We'll leave it at that. He gets the leftovers from the 2 guys at the top.
I don't know about all that.
But you know what?
Well,
Look,
well,
he's
we're
gonna
gonna see.
be ready. He's gonna come back from injury, and by March, when they have to face Canada for the semifinals, he'll probably be called up, and we'll see then.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that he's number 3.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, at the end of the day, we're gonna see eventually. I mean, Javier Aguirre is gonna call this guy up, and then we're gonna see
But
where he's gonna fall. So
I mean, this felt like a debate, guys.
Well, you know what? Then we go straight into the next part.
How we feel it?
yeah,
How we feeling? Yeah. Well, I guess we'll move on.
yeah.
For
Well,
listeners,
to everybody listening, let us know what
Yeah.
you think. Where does Santi Jimenez fall in this Mexico team? You know, comment down below. Agree with me, please. Defend me. But let us know what you think. Where does Santi Jimenez fall for this Mexico team when he comes back from injury? So
yeah, rank your top 3 number 9s at the moment.
yeah,
And you can even add Memote into it if you do really believe.
Mhm.
Which was it? I mean, I guess to end this segment, it was a shame that that Henry was sent to the crowd in the first game, and they put Memote in the bench. like that, and I'm glad Vasco went back to it and said, "Yeah, I fucked up," kind of thing, and he did the right thing with the second game, and it paid off. Just gonna leave it out there.
I will say Benchi Quinones was also a great move. Man, that man stank up the place the first game too. Man, that guy.
That too. I can agree with you there. I think he only had that one first debut good game, and after
Mhm.
that, I think
He's fallen off.
He's not.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate.
But, anyways, all right, we'll move a little along. This was our debate, not an impromptu debate actually, but it was a good one, and I'm glad that we
was a
had
good
it.
one. Yeah.
Sometimes the best things come impromptu, and I'm glad that this was one of them. But we'll head on to our recap of the week. Second to final segment of the week. We have 3 recaps that we
Mhm.
want to talk about, and to Irving for our timer.
Yeah, so, short recap of the week. Again, international plays happening right now. I mean, there is UEFA Nations League, but again, just like the Concacaf Nations League, it's really not important, in my opinion. So, yeah, we'll move on. We'll get our 3 headlines in. So the first headline is Neymar has another injury. Some say it's dealing with his ACL injury, that he's aggravated it, or that he's not fully recovered. Others are saying it's a hamstring injury. Regardless, he has only played 29 minutes in the last year. Mans is getting paid big bucks to play for Al Hilal right now, but only 29 minutes in. And my question is he done? Is this it for him? What do you guys think? Go Luis first.
Well, I saw a video not that long ago on TikTok about his last injury that he had.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm done.
Go.
But it's like there was a therapist commenting on that video and saying that the pain that he was suffering just doing a simple movement was not normal for somebody that was trying to come back from injury, and that they were just forcing him to move in a way that his body just couldn't do it anymore. So it's unfortunate, but this is some of those things where some players are gifted with a lot of talent, but at the same time they're also gifted with crystal parts in their body that just they don't allow them to go beyond
What do you mean by that?
what their body can take. So is he done? I think he's done being in the lights, and if he wants to keep playing, I don't see, he might not be the superstar anywhere he goes.
Time. I mean, when a guy's banging on you, and banging on you.
Is that what you want to hear?
When a guy's banging you,
Yeah. All right, Ariel, what do you think?
To me, I mean, I think it really comes down to what you define as being done. Is he done in regards to being the star of a team? Probably. Uh, is he done probably being an asset to the Brazil team? Probably. Is he done getting money? Nah, probably not. Um, and I think a part of it is like also kind of like shameless, right? Seeing vergüenza, like it's just like you just been chilling and you getting paid all this money, and he's kind of getting away with it. And I think kind of to Jose's point about just being super talented, but it's just it's unfortunate because I feel like this fool didn't do what needed to happen to like really strengthen it, and it's also just kind of the tragic story of Brazilians. Once they hit 30, it kind of starts going downhill, and that we've seen this story happen many times.
Time, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's a documentary, or there's like a documentary about that he was documenting his injury. Um, he did say that this ACL injury that he just had was like the worst he's ever had in his whole career, and that there was days where he couldn't move and days he planned to retire. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure for him it's a pretty big hit, but at the same time, I agree with you. He's gonna keep making money. I mean, there's tons and tons of videos and pictures of him this past year. I mean, sitting at the poker table, with his son right next to him. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna keep making that money.
Yeah.
All right. Next headline, next recap. Uh, Sticking with Brazil, they tie against Venezuela and Uruguay. Again, not seeing any life from this Brazil team, any results really that you want to see from them. So the question is, what's wrong with this team? Let's start with you, Eddie.
To me, is I think that what's wrong is they don't really have an identity as a team. I think Vinny is, while he's a good player, I don't think he's the guy. I think he's proven it time and time again. Once the yellow jersey comes on, I was here just last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Balón de Oro. To me, a Balón de Oro would be able to do it even for their national team. And he just doesn't got it. And I don't want to put it all on him, but I think the team is just, we're just wrong when Danilo's our captain, dude. That sums up where we're at, dude. I'm Brazilian because El Salvador sucks. So when Danilo's leading the charge, there's something wrong. When that's the guy leading that's the guy leading the charge of winning something. And Rafinha too. Rafinha, I don't know if you saw Rafinha was like, we played well. I'm like, you're in delusional land, sir. What are you talking about?
Time. That's your cutoff. Did you want to finish at that, or do you want to leave it at that?
Yeah. My final thought is just like that's just a level of delusion that you don't want to hear criticism. You don't want to hear criticism that you guys are playing poorly.
Yeah. All right, Luis. What do you think? What's wrong with this team?
I mean, they're just not. I mean, I think for leading up until this break, I think both. I would say both. Rafinha and Vinny were both in form, and that inform just didn't reflect into what it is to play for Brazil. I would argue that there's pressure for them to do good because the expectations are so high. But the reality is there really isn't much pressure. They're just like building up on themselves. I think now it's becoming like a mental thing where like they don't think they can get it done. And I think they've shown that they can't get it done. And as a team, I feel like there's also no chemistry. There's no function between the defense to the midfielders and the midfielders to the forwards. And the coach isn't the one to give them that identity. And I don't know if there is a coach out there that can give at least this generation an identity.
Yeah. I think y'all nailed it. I got nothing to say. So we're going to move on to our final headline here, our final recap. I don't want to call it. Tata Martino has resigned for personal reasons from Inter Miami, and this coming straight after they got eliminated in the first round by Atlanta United. Great series, by the way. I thought that's the only games I've kind of watched, and yeah, it was great series. So What do you think of this? Go ahead, Luis. Start us off.
I think Messi and Tata have not worked out, and this is the third time. It didn't. They didn't work out in Barcelona. It didn't work out with La Selección, and now another failed. I mean, not. Yeah, it's failed because they didn't win, and I think this was a team that was meant to win, and I think they played the whole season as in they were gonna win, and they didn't do it. So now Inter is looking for a new coach. They want a Spanish-speaking coach because their star speaks Spanish. And the reality, and I do see that too, is like I don't think there's an MLS coach or an English-speaking coach out there who will have the support of these four guys because they might not take him seriously. So I think Inter is in an interesting position, and I think Beckham has to decide what's next and who can come along to steer the ship. It's not an easy one.
Hey, Xavi, right there, man. Give him the big bucks. He's friends with them already, so might come in and do the job. Dale, what do you think about this?
What this makes me think about is a conversation we had a long time ago last season about 3-game series, and that there was it's not good and blah 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 blah. But here we are with a very good 3-game series. So I on one end that makes me happy because it was good, and I like the fact that this low-seeded team was able to beat them, which I think adds to this level of spontaneity that I think that is one thing that I like about the MLS, even though I think across the board they're not as talented as other leagues. But I do like that every year it kind of changes. Like Inter Miami has the chance to get knocked out by somebody. So I appreciate that. But in regards to the coach and Messi and not maybe Messi, but Tata Martino, I think to Jose's point, I think it's a tough ship to steer, and I think, but I'm sure Beckham's going to find the right person because how can you not? You have the best player in the world.
Yeah,
I'm sure anybody's like dying to be in that position.
Yeah. Hey, well, the earthquake snagged up Bruce Arena.
Hey, Bruce Arenas is off the board, people.
Yeah,
they can.
Yeah, for
they
everybody
can't
who wanted
poach him.
Yeah,
Like he already.
That's
chose
right.
his team.
He chose the worst team in the league.
literally by miles.
Hey, did anyone catch the
Yeah.
press conference by any chance? No,
I
okay.
did not. I saw some clips, but
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, he has some work to do.
Yeah, he looks
He looks confident.
though.
He looks confident.
though.
That's because I'm sure they're giving him
Yeah.
the bag to try to turn the ship
Hey,
around.
that's how they're promoting the season tickets now. Come watch Bruce Arena's first season.
I mean, you
for the
got to. I
Earthquakes.
mean, there's no one to go see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, all I know is that they might get us.
Hey, you're right. I might go see Bruce Arena's coach.
Hey.
Home
Home opener.
baby.
They might get us.
Yeah. But let us know what you think about these headlines again. Not crazy, recaps, but let us know what you think. If we missed one, let us know as well. Inform us about the segment or whatever happened. Yeah. That's it. For this part.
All right, man. Well, we have one final segment. Should be a quick one. We are at the 1 hour mark, but I like this segment, so it feels like a new segment, so I'm gonna let you take it away, Irving. Give me what we're gonna do here, and how nostalgic are we gonna get?
Well, we'll see. We'll see for you guys. For me, I have some names, but all right. For this segment, it's not no fancy game this week, unfortunately, but it is a very intriguing question, one that is brought up a lot. Who is your streets will never forget player? Now, what we mean by this, if you don't know what this means, is basically this player had to have 1-2 good seasons for your team, but they were unforgettable seasons. But then after that, they sucked. they just fell off. Maybe they weren't as good as they were once, But they just, for your team, or it doesn't have to be your team, just in general, from what you remember, they had an incredible season. You really enjoyed them, but they never ever eclipsed anything close to that. Maybe they fell off. So I'll give you guys some time to think. For those that are listening or watching right now, comment them right now. Who is your Streets Will Never Forget player? And yeah, do you guys have any idea? I have a couple names, but
Yeah, the first one that comes to my mind is you guys are probably. I mean, you're too young, even, so you never actually got to see this guy.
probably.
You're too young. I know for that for a fact. But based on your
Okay.
criteria, 1 or 2 seasons, the person that comes up to mind is Adriano. El Emperador. I mean, if you saw this guy play, I mean, he was a tank, dude. He was a tank, and his shot power was, when you thought about shot power 99 in FIFA, like, this brother had it. He had it. He had it, and he was fucking quick, and he was scary, dude. Like, when with that Inter team, he was scary. So, and that was at the time when Milan was good. So I was watching the Serie A. So that Inter team with him, and I think there was really high hopes with Brazil, and just really unfortunate, really a tragic story to a really spontaneous, like, player that just popped out of nowhere. I felt like, I don't remember. I don't know, Jose, if you remembered him coming up, but I felt like he just popped out of nowhere. He just showed up in fucking the Serie A, and he just took that shit by storm. But he was just, I mean, he was phenomenal. I think he was one of my favorite players, like, for that little bit of time. He's so dominant, So what could have been, really? So the Streets never forget, and, like, what could have been of a player.
Yeah. Good choice, man. Again, too young to watch, but I know he is, but too young to watch.
To me, the Streets will never forget. Well, I will never forget, and he almost turned me into an Arsenal fan. Andrei Arshavin. That kid was, growing up, that kid was special. I wanted to be Arshavin. He was a little lefty guy. Those 4 goals he scores against Liverpool on a 4-4 game away at Anfield, like, that, if back then, I feel like we didn't think of aura the way we do today, but that was aura. Like, that was special. Like, that, it's unfortunate that the injuries took playing time away from him, and it's unfortunate that I think he came to an Arsenal team that didn't have an identity at the time, and it was just kind of built of players that they were trying to make something out of it, but nothing happened. So I think at Xavi, if you get that recap of those 4 goals he scores, it's a magical performance.
Yeah. Don't know the guy.
Or Shavin, that's crazy.
My ball knowledge does
That's
not go
crazy.
back that far.
I think can I throw an
it's-
honorable mention for me? I'll throw
Yeah,
two
go ahead.
honorable mentions. Two players, and I named them both because I think growing up, I was so fascinated by these 2 players, and I'm sure that if you're a Liga MX fan, but if you didn't grow up watching that league, Vicente Sanchez and Cardoso and Toluca. I mean, watching those 2 dudes play, I was like, how are these guys not winning the World Cup? I mean, it was just like Vicente Sanchez was just flying in. He was doing his thing on the wing, and I was like, fuck, dude, this is the best player in the world, And, I mean, I was young, obviously, but I just remember them. I was just, like, so fascinated by the way that Toluca team played, but more specifically, just those 2 players. When they played, I thought it was just, it was great. It was a good time for Liga MX, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, let me throw
Uh-oh.
my mind.
We getting
No,
nostalgic?
can't understand. What did you open up,
The
Irving?
OGs. The OGs.
Hey, man, the Streets will never forget Salvador Cabañas. That guy. I mean, if you talk about what Cardoso did coming into the league from Paraguay, the the level that Cabañas had, also from Paraguay, when he debuted with Jaguares and then later going to America, was different. Like that was, and he was at a time where Mexico was still in Copa Libertadores, and this guy alone would go into South America, and he would single handedly win games for America in like the most hostile environments you can think of. And it's like in La Liga MX, this guy was just a goal machine. He would score any kind of goal, left footed, right footed, with his head. It's unfortunate that he his career got cut short for incidents beyond football, but yeah, dude, Cabañas was legit.
Yeah. Yeah. Really sad story actually, of how his career kind of ended. So. Yeah.
And my second one, and I'm gonna give the shout out to my dad too, cause my dad is a Pumista. But there's this Brazilian guy named Ailton da Silva, who used to play for Pumas, number 25, I believe. But that guy too, he was a little chunky Brazilian, but he was quick on the wing. And Hugo Sanchez just turned this guy into like a prime winger. Like I had never at the time, like I had not seen a player like Ailton da Silva in La Liga MX, and he had a little play that was just like a little, like he would like grab his feet, put it like he was just like a quick feet, and like he would like always beat the defender. So he was cool. He was fun to watch play.
All right, my last one. No. Last one. Last
go
one,
ahead,
man. Last
go
one.
ahead.
Then I'll
Go
stop
ahead,
talking.
man.
I gotta give it to this guy. Was supposed to be better than Cristiano. He was ranked above him. It was Quaresma. Quaresma with the tres dedos, the trivela. He was supposed to be. He was at Barca. He was supposed to be the next big thing before Cristiano.
Yeah, Chelsea
And,
too.
but we're talking about like when he was young. When he was young, he was in Barca, and he was supposed to be like, fuck, dude. I mean, he was good, dude. He was fucking like you look at his clips. I mean, he was a beast. It just never translated to a big team. You know, he really flopped at Inter, Chelsea. You know, just the bigger teams that he would go to. It just never translated. But I just remember just thinking about, fuck, dude. I mean, I think his best time was probably at Besiktas, probably. In Porto, he had that time at Porto where he was kind of killing it for like 1 year or so. But yeah, for me, Quaresma was probably going to be always be one of my favorite players. But I know that probably go down as a flop, really.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a like highlights machine though. He got hella highlights. Yeah.
Hey, remember Konoplyanka?
Nah, who's that?
Yeah, that's more of a FIFA one though. That's more of a
Yeah, but
FIFA
that's
streets
like
won't
that's
forget
like
though.
the streets won't forget the Ukrainian Ronaldo. Or
Yeah.
the Ukrainian Quaresma.
That's more of a FIFA one though. IRL, he was never.
All right, King Fenwa.
Oh yeah, strongest man. Okay.
My boy Heskey.
Hey, Blaszczykowski. Blaszczykowski. Yeah. Well, to give mine, I have, Pumas got a lot of those streets. We'll never forget. I got a lot of them. They got a lot. Like Achita Ludueña was definitely one the streets will never forget. That guy was pretty good when he was in Pumas. He was good in Santos too, but he was pretty good. Matias Britos, I thought he was one of the best strikers ever. Fidel Martinez, he was kind of good for Tigres too, but he almost won us a title in 2015. But if we're just talking broad, I probably, I probably give it to Isco. I mean, in 2017-18, he had arguably like one of the best seasons a camp could have had. I mean, this guy was starting at right wing over like Bell at times. Yeah, Isco was different for that Real Madrid team in 2017-18, kind of 16 as well. I mean, the guy was great, and then unfortunately after that, he got injured. Then Real Madrid didn't want him anymore, gave him away to Sevilla, and at Sevilla, he wasn't anything as well. Also got injured. Now he's at Betis. He's all right, but there's nothing like. I mean, he's nowhere near what he was doing for Real Madrid in 16-17. I mean, that team in general was different. I mean, this is a team that won 3 titles in back to back, no? The three titles in a row. So, I mean, yeah, this guy I thought he was really good for Real Madrid. I thought he was going to be there forever, and I thought he was going to be, number 22 forever. So, yeah, unfortunate, really, for Isco. Yeah, but Pumas got a lot of those, man. If you ever want to talk to me about how many Pumas got, man, I got a lot of them.
All right. My last one. My last one.
Go ahead.
You know what? No, because you brought up Madrid, and to me, this was the player. Again, a little butterfly effect, because I didn't know it was happening until it happened. But this was the player that made me a Madrid fan, and that was Julio Baptista.
Oof. La Bestia,
La Bestia.
my boy.
And it was that that Clásico that they play at the Camp Nou in 2007, where he scores that one golazo, and it's a 1-2 with Raúl, and this man just grabs and just without even letting it like hit the ground in the air, just kicks it, puts it in the ángulo, and that's the goal that they beat Barca with 1-0. And that was actually the last season that I became a Madrid fan. That season, Madrid won the league, and that was, I believe, the last time they won the season, because after that, like, the Pep era started. But La Bestia, dude. And now that we're throwing Brazilians out there, it should be studied how like that decline happens after 30.
Oh, it's been happening, dude. It happened to Ronaldo. It happened to Robinho. It happened to fucking Ronaldinho. Hulk, like there's Julio Baptista. Yeah, it just the list goes on and on, sir. This has been a trend for many Brazilians. We always get that one Brazilian. I feel almost every generation, we get that one Brazilian that's supposed to be. I think this time young people are thinking that it's Vinny, and watch, you're gonna see once he hits 30, he's gonna be down.
Oh, I mean,
hope you're wrong,
I guess the most recent one too is like Casemiro.
Yeah,
Casemiro hit 30 and
goes downhill.
At the level.
Basura.
Goes downhill. I don't know what happens, man. I don't know what they're giving him at 30 years old, but something happens. The only one that I think really breaks that is Thiago Silva, but even then, I still feel like Thiago Silva, that's my guy, but I think he overstayed his welcome.
Yeah.
David Luiz,
yeah. Nah.
Danilo.
Huh?
Danilo.
Man, don't get me started on that guy. Jeez.
All right. Well, let us know, everybody, what is your Streets Will Never Forget player? What kind of memories they bring to you? And yeah, man, really unfortunate for all the players we just mentioned. They just never eclipsed what they should have at one point. So, yeah, I mean, let us know what you think. And I think that closes us out for tonight.
Yeah, man. Thank you for listening. Make sure you follow us, subscribe to us. Should probably be even saying this at the beginning of the podcast. But if you made it this far, thank you. And don't forget to subscribe, share it with somebody. Leave us a review wherever you hear it. Leave us a comment. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening. You guys want to add anything else?
Nah. Till next time, everybody.
Adios.
Till next time. Adios.